What's crack-a-lacking? To all our fans, listeners out there on the Know It Alls channel, Fans First Sports Network, the No Cap Recap. Week 17 is in the books. Me and Tate Boy Fresh sitting back, got to talk what we need to talk through, get through what we need to get through. We might have a couple of guests to show up. Pace might be coming. We don't know. We might have a couple special guests showing up, but right now I'm with my boy Tate.
Is that an HR violation?
Oh, it's a clear HR violation, bro. Fine.
Yeah, he ain't say he wasn't coming, and he knew we had started at 11 o'clock. We waited till 11:05, per usual. Some with pay. We never know what's going on with pay, but some always going on with pay.
It's an HR violation. And you know what? It's a shame. It's the second to the last. Matter of fact, in an hour, it'll be the last day of the year, and he's still getting fined all the way out the gate through 2024. Pay. Got to do better in 2025, bro. You filling up the jar. So, hey, man, I'm sitting here with Tate, man. What's cracking, bro? What's going on?
Not too much, man. Just big ups to the homie Fifth Flow, bro, man.
Yeah.
Tim Lyons in the building. Hey, man.
Gavin stayed up late, too.
Gavin, shout out to the homie Gavin.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, I hope the Broncos lose and we beat you guys and keep you out the playoffs. That's what I'd like to see. But, if y'all beat us, then I'm definitely rooting for the Bengals getting the playoffs.
Hey, George T said Pay took PTO. Nah, that's a violation.
No, he didn't put in for it. He didn't take P. That's what we talking about, GT.
Yeah. Violation. Violation. HR violation, man.
I texted him a little bit ago, asked him what's his PayPal, because he going to win the fantasy football. So, I pay, because, in our league, only first and second place get paid.
That's correct.
Second place get $150. So I sent him and Kevin $150 last week. I said the winner get the other $300. But pay win, so I'm trying to send him his $300. He don't respond. He must don't want it, fast, quick, and in a hurry. So I'm gonna wait till the weekend to send it to him.
Well, make sure you deduct that fine money out there first, because I'll never see it. I need that fine money deducted and then send it to him. And he be like, "What's this, man? That's your fine, man. That's your fine for not showing up, man." So make sure you get that money collected, man. Hey, we appreciate everybody in the live chat staying up with us, rocking with us, man. Like Tate's called already. We got Gavin, Tim, brother man from the 5th floor, George T.
GT,
yeah, we'll have quite a few people in here after a while. But a lot of folks, it's a work day tomorrow. Not for me. I'm taking care of business, doing what I need to do. And we're gonna sit back and we're gonna get through this schedule, Tate, but we got to do the hardest game right off the bat.
Big G, the most difficult game.
Yeah, man. What's no doubt. It's late, man. It's a little late, man.
Hey, it's easy to go there though, man. We all slip up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So listen, man, the most difficult game to talk about and talk through, and I'm glad we're gonna get to it first.
Bro, man, it's not over. It's
over.
It's over, but it's not over. Oh, it's 40-28. The Lions with 1:35 left. So
yeah, they're not gonna. They missed too many.
They
missed too many field goals.
And they took Brock Purdy out.
He got cracked.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it's second down and 28 on the Detroit.
Oh, that's Josh Dobbs.
Yeah,
Shout out Josh Dobbs, former Steeler. But go ahead, Big G. I'll put the games up, man. Put the scoreboard up. You can get to it.
It's third and 2, man. Dobbs just completed a 27-yard pass to Jennings, man. It's 3rd and 2 with 1:36 left. They're not scoring 12 points in 1:36. It's not happening. So, yeah, man, the most difficult game, man, right off the back, man. The Kansas City Chiefs come into Pittsburgh and skull drag us 29-10 on Christmas Day. Tate, man, your thoughts and feelings about that score, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm still pissed, man. I'm still mad. So, but we got to cover the games. We got to cover the score. What you thinking and saying about the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, man, it's definitely a disappointing loss, man. And skull drug we did get. Not only do we get skull drug, they put their thumb in our eyes and skull drug us.
Yeah. And they did the thumb in the eyes, and then they put the big finger in the ear part and just ran us, man. Like, y'all suck. That's what they did to us, man.
So we call that game the Christmas Day Massacre. Steelers didn't do anything good that game, man. Anything. If you watch Coach T's press conference today, he kind of said, the same thing. They didn't play well enough to what's he always say? To secure victory.
Yeah, coach talk.
With a victory. Coach talk. There you go. Coach T talk different than any other coach talk. But yeah, coach talk from him, all the same.
Mm.
But yeah, man, I'm Big G, I'm ready to see Justin Fields again, man.
Yeah.
I feel like Russ is, and I'm a big, huge Russ fan, always have been.
Mm-hmm.
But Russ, I mean, he's went 6-4 over 10 game start. Justin Fields was 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
Russ smaller, the pocket just closes up around him. He don't have nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
And in those same plays, Russ is definitely the better passer. But you gotta let Fields get out there. Fields is the better playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, the threat of Fields running can draw the defense up, but he can cut something loose deep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So he just presents more challenges. Russ is more efficient. Russ is the better passer. Russ probably gonna run a more sound, efficient offense. But the Steelers got to be about explosiveness.
Yeah.
I think you need to see Justin Fields. It opens up the run game for both Jalen Warren and Najee Harris. It helps the offensive line more.
Mm.
I mean, and he's an adequate enough passer. The
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs did what the Chiefs do. There was so many missed assignments in that game. Guys running wide open. When you let Hollywood Brown and the Xavier Worthy with their speed run open, and then Travis Kelce is just always open in the middle, that's what's gonna happen, man.
Mm-hmm.
We got beat down. Man, who we faced in the past few weeks? We faced Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, and now Burrow again. So this is definitely a tougher stretch of games. We knew it was, but when we were 10-3, we thought, oh, we can win one, maybe two of these games.
Mm-hmm.
We've won none.
Yeah.
We won that first Bengals one, but I'm saying of the three back-to-back bangers that we had, we didn't win any. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to Saturday night. That's when they're gonna have the game now. The Steelers Bengals. Saturday night. Tomlin was asked today if the Ravens have already won in their afternoon game, they play Saturday too. All the AFC North plays Saturday. If they've won already, will you sit some starters? He said, we'll let the game come to us and we'll see how that goes. He said, but really, we want to get this stench off of us before the playoffs and going to the playoffs with some momentum. So who knows what he's going to do? But yeah, the Steelers were just past 3 games been trash.
yeah,
Josh Dobbs just scored a touchdown, so it's 40-34 right now.
yeah.
With 43 seconds left.
Game over.
Game over.
Game over. Yeah. But listen, man, so I actually watched, because I watched all 22 film in its totality 2 full times through. And the play of Russell Wilson and the offensive line is horrible. Right now, Russell Wilson is spinning out like Kenny Pickett used to do, always spinning out to his left. He refuses to step up in the pocket. And you got wide receivers that are open. I mean, literally open. And it's like he's forcing the ball to one read. He's not surveying the field, because I really actually think and believe he wants to get hit. He doesn't want to get hit.
Yeah, I think he's worried about the rush. I agree with you.
Yeah. So watching that, and it's bad. Now the offensive line is doing better in the run game, because I'm telling you, I've watched all 22 film all season, but I've been paying really close attention the last 3 and 4 games. The run game's offensive line is one player not doing their job, and for a lot of those plays to break for 15, 20, 25, 30 yards. But it's one guy missing his assignment. Most of the time in the run game, it's McCormick. If in this order, I would go McCormick 1, Jones 2, Dan Moore Jr. 3, who misses their assignments in the run game. And it's constantly. Defensively, Patrick Queen is running around with his head cut off. He's not a green dot. Cam Sutton looked horrible in the review of the all-22 film again. Beanie Bishop didn't play a snap. I don't get it. So Cam Sutton looked horrible. KZ didn't look well. And Patrick Queen doesn't have a clue.
Beanie was getting toasted the game before.
Yeah.
I mean, so he didn't play maybe because of that, but I don't have any more faith in Beanie Bishop than I do Cam Sutton. I
Yeah.
think he's a little more physical, a little better tackling, but as far as coverage though, and even if he got beat, I prefer Cam Sutton in coverage.
Mm. Well,
He's just a
he
more
looked bad.
experienced kind of. Yeah, I don't disagree with you there.
Mm.
The whole secondary looked bad, but
Yeah.
I think this week Thomas said Joey Porter's on schedule to play on
Facts.
Saturday,
So
that'll be huge for the defense. Elliott and Dante Jackson got a chance to get a extended rest. So they'll come back a little healthier, and they just got to get the communication right, man. And so we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All hopes and dreams lie on this game. We're in the playoffs, but I don't definitely want to go in limping in. All right, man. The second game that was on Christmas Day, it was a massacre worse than our game. The Baltimore Ravens beat the brake shoes off of the Houston Texans 31-2, man. Hey, man, I mean, we ain't even got to really spend a lot of time on it outside of maybe highlighting what was going on.
It's one thing I want to talk about from that game, and that's Beyonce in her cowboy suit. That's all I want to talk about from that game.
Yeah.
31-2, man. And I understand Houston has some injuries and stuff. I would love the Steelers to get, going back to the Steelers, to get a win. And then if they're going to go to Houston, I mean, that could be, you have a tough game against Cincinnati, you get a get-right game against Houston, and you done won 2 straight and going into the divisional round, who knows what happens then? You know what I mean? So
yeah. The Houston Texans offensive line is horrid. C.J. Stroud said it was the worst game he ever played in his whole life. And, got to give props where props due. The Baltimore Ravens are peaking at the right time, and great play out of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. So props to them. They lead us by 1 game. They have the Brownies this week. We have the Bengals. Hopefully the Brownies can knock them off. And if we knock off the Bengals, we could claim the AFC North title, man. All right,
bro,
Tate,
man, I think Beanie Bishop probably a little faster than Sutton at this stage of their careers.
Yeah, Beanie's a 4.42 guy. 4.41, 4.42. That's what he clocked at the combine. 4.41,
Shout out
4.42.
from to the homie Daniel Littlejohn. His comment, Big G. You agreeing with it?
Yes, absolutely. But Justin's not been healthy the last several games. So because Justin hasn't been healthy, he hasn't been available. He was the emergency quarterback this last game for us. From like you said, what Tate stated already is that it looks like he's going to be healthy and available. Got to give plenty of plays this week against the Cincinnati Bengals, man. If not, what are we doing? Because he's already went past the point to where if people are still arguing about the draft pick, he's already cleared that point. He's not going to get close to playing the amount of snaps that he needs to actually play in order for the draft pick to go up. So we ain't got to worry about that. Let the kid play, and we need all hands on deck to get a victory, man. Tate, let's take a break. Let's get an early one in. That way we can get it taken care of. If you're watching us live on YouTube, we'll be right back after we pause for the cause. Wherever you're listening to us, be it audio, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your audio podcast, we'll be right back with the No Cap Recap on the Know It Alls channel via Fans First Sports Network. And we're back with the No Cap Recap. Me and Tate Boy fresh in the building, Payday with the big fine. Moving on to the game, and this is the game I wanted to talk to about with Pay. Tate, probably the worst game of the entire weekend. The Seattle Seahawks beat the Chicago Bears 6-3. That is big trash. Talk to me a little bit about this big trash game and the big trash Bears. The big fine for Tate Boy Fresh.
My bad, man. But there's nothing really to talk about in this game, man. What the highlights is 3 field goals. I mean, It might be the ugliest game that I've seen in the NFL in the last 5 years. I'll just put that out there. I don't know, but it has to be one of them. It has to be top 3 ugliest games in the last 5 years.
Yeah. Horribleness. And the Bears will now lose They got one game against the Packers. They're not
How
going to
many's out a
split.
row?
It'll be 11 in a row when they lose Sunday.
So 10 in a row they've lost.
10 in a row.
And to think at one time, myself, led by Pay, having some sort of belief, thought they would be able to compete for second place in the division. Not even close.
No.
This division is probably one of the best divisions in the last 25 years for outside the Bears. I mean, the AFC North, everybody had a winning record last year.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I mean, 14-2, 14-2, and 11-5.
Mm-hmm. Great division.
11-5.
Yeah,
So
great division. Yeah, great division.
Yeah, so I mean, the Bears looking for their new coach.
Yeah.
They need to make some adjustments. But I have nothing really to talk about with them. I think Seattle is out the playoffs officially.
They're eliminated. They're eliminated. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if they'll be looking for a quarterback next year. They won't have a super high draft pick. They'll be in the middle of the pack somewhere. But Geno Smith probably is not the answer. You got some. I even read an article today that said DK Metcalf will be on the trade block this offseason.
Yeah, because you cannot, if you're in a rebuild mode, you can't continue to pay those high type athletes. And you got a young Jackson Smith and Juka that was going to end up with 100 plus catches this year for the Seattle Seahawks. So they're moving on. So hey, maybe we can get DK. Hey, maybe I'll take him. I'll take him in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind DK.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to move to the next game. It was a massacre. The Los Angeles Chargers beat the brake shoes off of the New England Patriots 40-7. And Justin Herbert is playing outstanding football right now, man. Tate, the Chargers look scary, man. What's your thoughts about this game?
I think the Chargers are one of those threats. I think they're very similar to the Steelers. You get Herbert going, get him cooking. He can be good. They have limited offensive weaponry. Kind of like the Steelers only got George Pickens. I mean, the running backs are okay. But Justin Herbert's a different maker. That's why I say when Russ is playing well. But they are pretty much locked into the 6th seed. I think the Steelers are locked into the 5th seed. Unless the Chargers win this week, I believe. Chargers still got the same record.
The Steelers can actually end up in the 7th seed.
No, they can't end up in the 7th seed. No, because Denver would lose. The Bengals would be 7. Steelers got a better record than both them.
So
and the tie break would be if Denver won and Steelers lost. Steelers beat the Denver head to head is a tie break. Theirs. Steelers beat the Chargers too.
Right. But could the Chargers end up with a better record than the Steelers?
If they win and Steelers lose, I think they would be 11-6. The Steelers would be 10-7.
Yeah, the 6th seed will put the lowest the Steelers can in the 6th, and I don't want no part of 6. I'd rather be the 5 seed.
If you 6, you got to go to Baltimore.
To Baltimore for the playoff game. So, and I would much rather go to Houston, but first of all, I'd rather be the 3 seed, but that's another conversation. But yeah, the Chargers actually look really good, man. Shout out to Jimmy Harbaugh. He's a culture setter, man. He's won at every level of football, and he's came into Los Angeles and did exactly what he needed to do for the Chargers. So they win a big game. Against the New England Patriots, who are now locked into the number 1 overall pick for the 2025 draft. And it looks like Travis Hunter is going to find a new home in New England with the number 1 overall pick, unless they trade the pick. Tate, what's the next game we got on the slate, bro? Oh, we got to me, it was one of the best games of the weekend. The Denver Broncos versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
It was the best game until Sunday night game, but go ahead. Same score, though, too. Same situation.
Absolutely. And Joe Burrow is the man. You got to give props where props are due, man. Joe Burrow's having an MVP-type season, Tate. But I think that was an excellent game, and Cincinnati actually showed some fortitude by locking down defense a little bit late in the game. What's your thoughts about the Bengals versus the Broncos?
It was a great game. Burrow is the best quarterback in the league right now.
Wow.
As far as play on the field, the best quarterback in the league right now.
Yeah.
I know all Patrick Mahomes' accolades and everything, and Josh Allen's capabilities to run it and pass it. but just quarterback play. And the Bengals only lose many games they lost because of their defense.
That's facts.
I mean, Joe Burrow is that guy. You know, he's not a jag, like I like to say. He's an ag. He's a guy.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, Troy Aikman said tonight on tonight's Monday night broadcast that he would give Joe Burrow the MVP. He said, no disrespect to nobody else that's have great seasons. But what Joe Burrow has done, crazy.
Yeah, I think the Bengals are a 2-win team without him. To be honest, I think they're a 2-win team. But with him, they're right here at the end, fighting for the playoffs lives. Big battle between us and between the Bengals and the Steelers on Saturday. And all the marbles are for them to be able to make the playoffs. So we know we're going to get their best, and Pittsburgh definitely needs to have their best moving into that game. What's next on the docket, bro? Man, the big trash Arizona Cardinals played the Los Angeles Rams, who locked in the win of their division, NFC West, 13-9. Tate, what do you think about this score?
The Rams haven't been scoring a lot of points lately, but they've been winning because their defense has been playing, and they played some bad teams, I believe, the last couple games. So I mean, the Rams are 4. So right now they'd be looking at playing Minnesota or Detroit.
Yeah, they would.
They'd host them. I mean, I don't think the home field would be as big an advantage. They all play indoors.
Mm-hmm.
So Detroit or Minnesota will have to go on the road to the Chargers.
Man, this tells you how wacky the NFL is. A 13-win team is going to be a wild card this year. That is unbelievable.
A 14-win team.
No, no, Detroit
won
tonight.
Both 14-2.
Yeah, a 14-win team is going to be on the road in the playoffs. The NFL is a trip, bro. There's no way in the world. I think they need to relook at this, but this is just me. There's no way in the world you should be 14 on the road.
Well, it's just like they do college football. You win your division. Well, in college football, you win your division, you get a spot because Clemson won the ACC and they was the 12th team.
Facts.
So maybe the NFL should just do the top 7 teams in the conference get in the playoffs. Forget division winners.
Yeah. That means you would have to play good football all year round and not just worry about coasting through if you feel you play in a weak division. You know, I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Tampa Bay or Atlanta doesn't necessarily deserve a playoff spot.
Well, they wouldn't have a playoff spot if they wasn't in their crappy divisions.
Yeah.
I mean, 8-8 don't get you in. I think they both 8-8. No. Atlanta lost last night, so they might have.
I think they're both 8-8.
Okay.
I think they're both. I think, and the winner gets in. Well, New Orleans plays at Tampa Bay, and Atlanta plays. I can tell you. I'm gonna make sure. I don't want to get. Atlanta plays Carolina, and New Orleans plays Tampa Bay. That's on the docket for the next week. So both of them have to win. The Atlanta Falcons are 8-8.
I'm glad he can show up to work 28 minutes late.
Good evening, Pay. How are you, sir?
What's up, fellas?
Chilling. We're going through the no cap recap. The game we just were talking about was the big trash Arizona Cardinals versus the Los Angeles Chargers. You got anything that you want to say about that game? Pay?
The Chargers and the Cardinals. Cardinals played them tough. But
Arizona.
That's what I said.
They didn't play the Cardinals, but they didn't play the Rams. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. My bad.
Rams and the Cardinals. Yeah, the Rams and the
Cardinals. That's what you said.
Yeah. So, Pay, you got anything you want to talk about that game, or you just want to move on to the next one?
We can go to the next one.
All right, got you. The Philadelphia Eagles smashed the Dallas Cowboys 41-7. Dallas fans was really hurt behind this. Philadelphia, Saquon Barkley is about 100 yards away from breaking the record.
101.
So I'm gonna go to you. Yeah, I'm gonna go to you first, Pay. Pay, what are your thoughts concerning the Eagles and or the Dallas Cowboys game? 41-7. He's froze or muted.
GT gave him a big fine.
Pay, can you hear us? Yeah, okay.
He asked your thoughts on Dallas.
You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, Dallas. Yeah, that game went nowhere where I thought it was going to go. Dallas had came into that game hot. Winners of 4 out of 5. Didn't have to play Jalen Hurts. Barely had to play Kenny Pickett, and they still got boat raced. Oh my goodness, that was not a great game for Dallas, but awesome job for Saquon and the rest of that offensive unit for Philadelphia. As you said, as Tate said, he's within striking distance of the all-time record. He passed 2,000 yards on the season. I think he had 165 yards rushing that game.
I think it was either 165 or 167. It was right there, right around that same thing.
Yeah, so awesome job for them so they can lock up the number 2 seed in the NFC. But I don't know what to say about Dallas, but I do know what to say about Dallas. Trash.
Garbage. Tate, what are your thoughts concerning Philadelphia and Dallas, man?
Well, it's only fair because Cooper Rush played, but I'd say Dallas lost to Kenny Pickett. Saquon had a big game, a needed big game. Philly owns that division, but it holds true. Dallas won division last year. I don't think anybody's repeated in the NFC East in like 15, 16 years or more. No repeat.
Absolutely. No repeat champion.
Right. I think when Jalen Hurts comes back, Philly is clearly the best team in the NFC to me. I mean, Detroit, like in the game against Detroit, I think Philly slows the game down and limits Detroit's offensive opportunities because Detroit's defense can be had.
Facts.
So, you score on them, you get a couple of stops, and you controlling the game and the clock. I think that's a recipe for Philly to beat Detroit. And, we're saying, Pay, that division is maybe one of the best divisions in the last 20 years, far as the upper echelon teams, the top 3. The Bears really brought that division down. They could have been one of the best divisions all time. But yeah, man. So I'm Philly's for real.
Yeah, I look for Philadelphia to make a serious playoff run and a playoff push, and I think they'll go one more game and rest in Jalen. And there's no reason to actually play him. You think it'll be all hands on deck last game?
For a while, he didn't miss 2 games straight. You got to get the rust off. They're going to be playing in the second seed. They playing next week.
Yeah.
When they play this week, then they play next week. I think you let him get in against the Giants, even just the first half.
Yeah. And
take him out. But he's going to play. That's going to open up for Saquon to try and get that record. His threat in the run game opens all kinds of stuff up. So I think he'll play on Sunday.
Man, the Giants will be sick if Saquon breaks that record in New York. Oh, my God, will they be sick? But, so goes the trauma or the drama in the NFL. Tate, what's the next game on the docket, bro? The New York Football Jets get destroyed by the Buffalo Bills, 40-14. Man, there was a lot of blowouts this week, man. Pay your thoughts, man, concerning Buffalo and the Jets, man.
This was my favorite game of the weekend, and I think you know why.
Aaron Rodgers.
So, yeah, I thoroughly enjoy Buffalo taking out the fattest leather belt out of the closet and putting it straight across the backside of Aaron Rodgers. That felt
BTA.
It was so cathartic.
They call that BTA.
Yeah.
BTA. Wow.
It
BTA.
That was so cathartic. And when he tried to fight back that one play, they gave him a flag. Oh,
Sure did.
beautiful game. I think they had more. I think the Jets had more yards and penalties than they had in total offense. They had 120 yards and penalties.
Facts.
Their total yard, well, about halfway.
They was out there, and the Jets, man. I've already said that Omar Khan needs to target them and leave Chicago alone. Let's target the Jets and get some of those Jets players over in Pittsburgh, man. Because they got a lot of talent, man.
They got some talent. They got that one little cancer in the locker room. Just go ahead and remove them. They might be a decent team again. But yeah, that was a thorough ass whipping. Handed out by Buffalo. The Jets had no business on the same field with them. The game wasn't even. You see, the score was 40-14. It wasn't even that close. Garbage time, garbage yards. They got about 80 yards in garbage time. Buffalo destroyed them. Even Mitch Trubisky got in the game and threw a touchdown.
He did. A Mitch sighting in Buffalo. Oh my God.
That's how trash the Jets are.
Tate, man. The Jets, we know it's over, but can the Jets right the wrong if they get a quarterback? Because it looks like they might be in the Cam Ward Shador sweepstakes.
I like to see Aaron Rodgers lose too. So, and he got shut out. They got their scores with Tyrod Taylor in the game.
Facts.
So, just talk about Rex Ryan or Pete Carroll interviewing for the job with the Jets. So I don't know if they want to go old school, but they want to go with some proven guys. Obviously, it seems like.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the Jets are terrible. I think it's kind of like Cleveland. You're never really going to be good. It's organizational malfeasance. It's like they're just terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, Cleveland was in the playoffs last year. The Jets thought they was going to compete this year. I mean, man, I might even throw Chicago in that boat. I mean, these teams we have expectations for, and it's rare that they come through.
Yeah.
Even come close to beating expectations. I don't know. I mean, it's just some franchises like that.
Yeah. You call that being
cursed.
Yeah,
I'm glad the Jets lost. Yeah, they do call that curses.
Yeah, big facts.
I mean, to think the Minnesota Vikings are 14-2 with Sam Darnold, who the Jets couldn't do anything with.
Yeah. Outstanding coaching going on in Minnesota right now, by the way, too. All right, man, we got to take a quick commercial break. Pause for the cause. One more time for the good time. If all y'all watching us live, just give us a second. If you're listening to us on audio, we'll be right back with the No Cap Recap final on Fans First Sports Network and the Know It Alls podcast. And we're back with the No Cap Recap. Tay-Boy Fresh, my boy Pay sitting back. We got a couple of games to handle to close this show out. Tate, what's the last couple of games on the docket, bro? It looks like the next game up was probably the biggest surprise of the weekend. The New York Football Giants, who was in position to actually draft Shador Sanders or Cam Ward, wins the game and knocks the Indianapolis Colts out of the playoffs 45-33. Pay, man, what you thinking, man, concerning this game, dog?
Flacco does it again. They put Flacco in the game, and, he throws for a lot of yards, but he also throws too many interceptions. And I don't know if New York would rather have Daniel Locke in prison and in place for Luigi right now. Because
wow.
He went out there and balled 309 yards, 4 touchdowns, what he's supposed to be losing.
Hey, Malik Neighbors had a game for the ages, and so did Drew Lock, man. Malik Neighbors has shown like he's definitely the number one wide receiver in this year's draft, and I think a couple more pieces in New York and maybe a serviceable quarterback Man, but man, you got to feel bad for the Colts, man. The Colts are always one of those teams that are right there. They're sort of like Seattle. They're right there, and they just can never get over the hump to get into the playoffs on a regular basis, man. So, Tate, what you think about with the Colts and the New York Football Giants?
Yeah, the Colts. I mean, they probably won't make the playoffs anyway. I'm sure their percentage was low, but they gave it away, man. I mean, they didn't even fight for a playoff spot by the fact that you lose to the New York Giants.
Facts.
And Drew Lock. I mean, so the Giants deserve it. They played good. Drew Lock played well. Neighbors played well, and the defense played good. I mean, playing against Joe Flacco, but man, Flacco took a team to the playoffs last year. So if I'm the Giants, I probably wasn't trying to win. I mean, I don't know where they stand now as far as the NFL draft rankings.
They're second. They were picked second as of today.
Who's first?
The New England Patriots.
Well, they don't want no quarterback. They better trade back to somebody that want a quarterback bad.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. So shout out to the Giants for getting the win. I mean, you're a professional. You're there to compete. Like Coach Herm Edwards says, you play to win the games. So that's what the Giants came out and did. Brian Daboll don't want to lose. He flirting with his job if he come out and take L's. You know what I mean? So yeah. Shout out to the Giants, man. I don't know if we obviously skipped the Buccaneers Panthers game.
Yeah.
Maybe run back to that because Baker had a helly game.
Yeah, facts. Why are you bringing it up? Tampa Bay beats the brake shoes off of Carolina 48-14. Like you said, Baker out there balling and trying to get the Bucs in the playoffs. What you thinking, Tate?
Yeah, man. Well, the Bucs control their own destiny now. The Atlanta lost last night in a nail biter that we're gonna get to shortly. But yeah. And they play the Saints next week, and Atlanta plays Carolina. So could the Saints rise up and beat Tampa Bay and kind of save Atlanta's winning the division? I don't know, but that's what's on the line come this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. I thought Carolina was playing better, man, but it looks like Tampa Bay is that team. Pay your thoughts concerning Tampa Bay and Carolina, man.
Baker with 5 turnovers. With touchdowns. 5 tutties. When in a game that they had to win against a division rival, against his old team, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, facts.
Tate hit it right on the head. They now control their own destiny because Atlanta coughed it up, as I knew they would. Baker is one of the best reclamation stories in the NFL the last 10 years.
Yeah.
People thought he was the Cleveland Browns, with their history of quarterbacks. They thought he wasn't a franchise quarterback. Now look at him, leading teams to the playoffs, leading teams to playoff wins.
Yeah,
he's just a baller. He's a gamer. Shout out to Skip Bayless. No, he didn't say that about Baker. He said it about Manziel. One thing I do want to say is that Carolina, I mean, they fought valiantly. They did not in this game at least, but they fought valiantly throughout the second half of the season. They got some good pieces out there. Chuba Hubbard, he didn't play in this game. J.C. Horn is a dog. Bryce Young, he's coming around. They're gonna watch out for them next year.
Yeah,
they're gonna be tough in that division.
Yeah, Xavier Leggett's a good piece too, good young piece. So yeah, they're gonna be better.
Wait,
but
you think Carolina gonna be good next year?
They're gonna be good in that division.
I can see them fighting for 8 or 9, based on what they get in the draft and free agency. I can see them fighting for 8, 9, 9, and 8. I can see it because they're young. They're young, and Bryce Young done turned it around. Definitely playing better football for them. Hey, so the next game we got is the 2 teams that was playing for the Shador sweepstakes. Somebody had to lose, but the team that I thought was going to win lost. The Las Vegas Raiders won 25-10 against the New Orleans Saints, man. Tate, man, what you thinking, man, concerning the Las Vegas Raiders and the New Orleans Saints?
Well, we picked those games on overtime. I lost. I had the Jets being within 10 of the Bills. That didn't happen, but I did win this one. I picked the Raiders. I think the Raiders were given 1.5, and they ended up winning by 15. So, yeah, man, I think it was in Vegas. So, I really just went with the home team and them covering, because if you're going to win, you're probably going to win by a field goal. So, went with the Raiders. Amir Abdul was running good yesterday.
Facts.
And McConnell even played well. I mean,
Facts.
the Raiders, I don't know what I got the current draft order pulled up here. Right now it would be New England at 1, Tennessee at 2, the Browns at 3, the Giants at 4. So Giants fell from 1 to 4.
Facts.
Jacksonville at 5, Carolina at 6, the Jets at 7, the Raiders at 8. So those are the top 8 picks. And if the season ended this week and not next week. So we see what happens next week.
Yeah, I think Antonio Pierce is trying to definitely keep his job in Las Vegas, man. Pay your thoughts on this, man. And is it all over with? Or are they going to clean house down in New Orleans?
I mean, they already cleaned house in New Orleans, right? I mean, how much more clean can a house get? They've just, if you've been paying attention to the Saints the last 5 years, they've really just been, stuck in neutral. They've been in cap hell. They haven't had a quarterback, and they've kept punting on that position. They just wasted the last good years of Kamara's career. I don't know. I don't know what they do. Are they finally going to stop messing around and make a decision or make a direction, going in some type of direction with this franchise? Because it really is just every year fighting to get six meaningless wins.
I know they started the season out. We thought they were going to be about something with that 2-0 start and the beat down on the Cowboys. But man, you talk about falling apart.
It was just them beating up on the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's big facts, man. All right, man. The next game on the docket is the old shooting ain't normal, getting mopped. Cleveland Brownies got mopped by the Miami Dolphins.
The Jags and the Titans.
I'll come back to it. The Browns and the Dolphins, man. Cleveland Browns smashed. I mean, the Miami Dolphins smashed the Cleveland Browns 20-3, man. Listen, the Cleveland Browns are another one of those teams that's stuck in purgatory and need a quarterback, but they just extended Deshaun. So I'm like, man, I don't know what's going on in Cleveland.
They didn't extend them, or did they extend them? Is that what
they renegotiated?
Yeah, but they didn't extend him.
Yeah, they changed that money up.
They just moved some money to the front, so they can kind of, when they decide to cut him after next year, they have to pay less money on the back end. They just give him some more money right now. Then after 2025 season, if he don't come out and do nothing next year, they're gonna get rid of him.
Agree. So, Pay, I got to ask a hard question. Does Stefanski keep his job in Cleveland? Because that's some serious talk going on up around Cleveland, man, about him not keeping his job.
Good thing for the NFL, it's not the NBA, because the NBA, it doesn't matter if you won Coach of the Year, you still get fired the next year, especially if you're black. Stefanski, he is the reigning Coach of the Year. I don't think his job is in serious jeopardy. I mean, look who he's dealing with. He's dealing with Deshaun Watson, probably the worst quarterback in the league. I mean, what else do you want him to do? You want him to make paella with 2 cans of cream of noodles? I mean, what can he do? Right? He got all his running backs are hurt. His defense a little bit regressed. Billy only got Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett can only play one position at one time.
They got Ward, DB. I think their defense is better than the offense.
And in the 2024 NFL, that's not gonna win you many games.
That's not the recipe. We find that out in Pittsburgh. So offense can't have any consistency. But yeah, definitely agree with that. I think his job is safe.
Yeah, I think it's safe too. But they got to figure out another team to figure out that quarterback position. And theirs is a lot more difficult than most others because they have a lot of payroll going to that one guy who's terrible.
Oh yeah, Mr. Jurgens himself. So, hey man, Deshaun and the Browns, another losing season. 2 teams who we know the coach, one of them coaches is going to get fired, and possibly both of them. The Tennessee Titans take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars went 20-13. Tate, man, what you thinking, man, concerning Jacksonville? Which out of those 2 coaches keep their job, or both of them? Adios, muchachos, man.
Tennessee coach keep his job. He just got there. It's his first year. They was bad last year. They bad this year. they messed up where they got rid of Rabel.
Facts.
You know, the owner should keep her nose out the bit. Bud Adams' daughter, keep her nose out of football business, get football people to run the football team. Rabel's going to be one of the coaches that's going to be at the top of a lot of lists this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they messed up with that point. Then they got the offensive coordinator for the Bengals is who they picked up.
Yep.
Don't even know his name. Forgot his name. His dad was a coach too in the NFL. But yeah, I mean they got a Will Levis, Mason Rudolph problem. So the fact that they pick in second right now, they could be a team to get Cam Moore. You only spent the second round pick on Will Levis.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be 2 years after this year's draft, when this year's draft starts. I mean, so hey, if you got the first round number 2 overall pick, you might go get that quarterback right now.
Yeah, got to get your franchise quarterback picking that eye in the draft. Pay, your thoughts, man, concerning Tennessee and Jacksonville, man.
I am so shocked that Buddy from Jacksonville kept his job all the way throughout the whole season. I thought he would have got fired by week 6.
Peterson.
That's crazy. But, I mean, that's probably one of the biggest shocks of the season. As we get to week 18, Peterson lasted this long. That's what she said. But this game wasn't much to take him. Tajay Spears, he was on his way to a third consecutive great game until he left the game early in the third quarter with a head injury. Other than that, this game was a throwaway game. There's a lot of throwaway games this week. Just people jockeying for draft position and other teams jockeying for playoff position. A few teams jockeying for playoff position. These are the two that's ever jockeying for playoff position.
Yeah, facts. All right, man. So one of the games of the week. Go ahead, Tate.
I think as far as playoff position, I think the 12 of the 14 teams are settled. You looking at Atlanta and Tampa Bay on the NFC side, and you're looking at Cincinnati, Denver, or the Dolphins still alive on the AFC side for the 7th seed.
Yes, 12 of the 14 playoff spots are resolved. All right, man. So, like I said, one of the games of the week, man, the Minnesota Vikings versus the Green Bay Packers, man, it was an outstanding game, man. Outstanding game. The Minnesota Vikings prevail and beat the Packers 27-25. Hey, I know you were super happy about it, bro. So I'm going to let you kick this one off, man. Talk to me about the Packers taking the L, dog, to the Minnesota Vikings, man.
Yeah, the Vikings are 4 points better than the Packers. They lost by 2 points in both of the contests they played this season. And both of them had similar beginnings and ends. The Packers got down real bad early, clawed their way back, and then couldn't get over the hump. Josh Jacobs is the best player on that offense for the Packers. I don't have any belief in Jordan Love as a big-time quarterback.
Wow.
The Vikings are pretty good. And I say this every week. Sam Darnold, I think he's still got to do it at least one game in the playoffs for him to get that big bag next season. But he had a career game against the Packers this past Sunday. Career high in passing yards. I think he had 3 touchdowns and something like 3 touchdowns. Just a dog performance against a game that you had to win and against a division rival.
Does he get the bag with JJ McCarthy in Minnesota? A first-round draft pick?
Oh, he's not getting the bag in Minnesota. No.
Okay. All right. I got it.
No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I got you. All right, Tate, your thoughts, man, concerning Green Bay and Minnesota, man.
Well, first off, I have to start out by disagreeing with the homie Pay. Jordan Love is borderline elite quarterback. And if he got belief in Caleb Williams, I don't know why he wouldn't have any belief in Jordan Love. I mean, they're kind of like the same talent level. Jordan Love is taking the team to 11-5 right now they are, and they were in the playoffs last year and upset Dallas and could have beat San Francisco. Jordan Love did this. I mean, he don't have any name wide receiver. He got a whole bunch of nice young guys. You know what I mean? So Jordan Love, that's why they gave him the bag. Jordan Love is clearly the best player. I think that's some of that Packer bias, the cheesehead bias coming out in Pay. I mean, to say Jordan Love is not the real deal, but still stick behind Caleb Williams, that makes no sense to me. But the Packers are a good team, man. I mean, but Minnesota is for real. You know what I mean? They're for real. And I think Sam Darnold, man, Minnesota surprises me every week. I think every week at some point they're gonna come back down to earth. They never do.
Yeah.
Never do. 14-2.
I'm gonna tell you the reason why, Tate. Brian Flores in that defense, man. That when you talking about dialing it up, he dials it up, and they continue with constant pressure, man. They dial it up, seem like to every play. So I'm digging it, man. Aggressive defense. When you know you got a decent offense, man, go get the other team's quarterback and put pressure on them to score points, man.
Shout out to Fifth Flow. He sees what Jordan Love is, but I say he's borderline elite. So that's the sleeper part, right? But not to say he's not the real deal, and he's going like 22-10 the past 2 seasons. I don't think the Bears have won 22
What
games
I said was
4 seasons.
I don't believe him as a big game quarterback. I don't. All the other superlatives you're using is not what I said.
Okay, well, you said he's not. You don't believe in him, is what you said.
It's a big game.
Was the game down in Dallas last year a big game in the playoffs?
Dallas. That's all I gotta say. One word, Dallas.
Against Dak Prescott, wasn't Cooper Rush, Dallas. And they should have beat San Francisco, though. Who went to the Super Bowl?
They didn't.
No, they didn't. They didn't. But don't mean they're not a good team. He's not a good quarterback, though.
I need to see more. I don't believe in him.
Hey, man, you're not gonna argue with a Packer bias. You're not gonna do that. Everything he sees is through blue and orange glasses, man. He can't see nothing different. He's saying the Packers is trash. They will always be trash, and they will never win any games.
Therefore, their quarterback is trash. All right.
Absolutely, and it's better than their quarterback on the current Chicago Bears roster. Hey, man, we had a great game between 2 rookies, the Atlanta Falcons versus the Washington Commanders. An overtime thriller, 30-24. The Washington Commanders win. Both of these rookie quarterbacks play really, really well. Tate, man, your thoughts between the Commanders and the Atlanta Falcons, man?
I think Atlanta lost the game. The Commanders got the ball in overtime, went down and won. That part is true. Raheem Morris and his time management, it's worse than anything Mike Tomlin's ever done.
That's facts. That is
I
facts.
mean, he went into halftime with all 3 timeouts. He let the clock run from like 41 down to like 23 seconds left and kept all his timeouts. And this is the first half. Yeah. Then the second half, he did the same thing, put all kind of unnecessary pressure on himself and his team because he didn't take timeouts at the appropriate time. He goes down with 5 timeouts over the course of the game. He used 1 timeout.
Yeah. And listen, Tate, I'm going to say this. Atlanta's not that far away. Atlanta's close. Michael Penix Jr. is the real deal. And he's got pieces with him, man.
I like the way he played last night. I mean, especially when he went down, got that touchdown. That 4th and 11? They got 31 yards to Drake London. They were, I think, even then, they started like, because that snap went over Bijan Robinson's head. If Bijan Robinson was not probably a running back and was a thinker, he could have threw that ball out of bounds and saved a lot of yardage. But they were able to come back from that and still get the first down. Jaden Daniels is a problem.
Yeah.
And they're capable of beating anybody that they play.
Yeah.
And they could match up with Philly. If they're the 7th seed, they go into Philly to play them, and they're familiar with Philly. You know? So, hey, the Commanders are real. Check out the Command Time podcast on the Fans First Sports Network audio. Those guys did a podcast tonight. So, give it a listen, check it out.
Hey, man, your thoughts on the 2 rookie quarterbacks and how they played. And, man, Atlanta, I think is close, man. Just your thoughts concerning the game. And did you watch the whole game all the way through? Because I did, and it was, to me, an outstanding football game.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels decided to just put on his cape last night and not throw the ball to Scary Terry at all, which I'm not going to get into it. I did not approve. Yeah, it was it was as an entertaining vehicle. It was back and forth. I enjoyed that aspect of the game. It was definitely worth staying up for from that aspect, right? Shout out to the Commanders for clinching a playoff spot. Was wonder what you can do after you just get some of the stink off of you from a bad ownership. Get Dan Snyder up out of there. The whole organization's a lot better.
I know where this is going. I know where this is going. Sell the Bears. Sell the Bears.
It's just amazing what can happen when you get some of that ineptitude about the building.
Mm-hmm.
From the top down.
McCluskey's, they not selling the Bears.
I mean, that's what the fans are chanting. I heard it. The fans are they're saying sell them, get them out of there, get new ownership, man, new direction. I get it.
But yeah, man. The Michael Penix is gonna be really good, I believe. So I agree with you there. Jaden Daniels is a top 10 quarterback right now.
Facts.
Right now.
Facts. He's probably 9 or 10. I put him up there.
Yeah.
Right now in the league. Definitely. And he's not going to do nothing but get better because they're going to continue to get offensive pieces around that kid. So they're going to get him a big time receiver. Believe me. Terry McLaurin is a very good one, but they're going to add another receiver to him, man. And then look out because they're on the upscale. All right, fellas, the game we just got done watching, the last game of the night, the Detroit Lions moved to 14-2. And then listen, it was a good effort out of the 49ers. The game ended up 40-34. San Fran moves to 6-10. Detroit 14-2. And they take on the Vikings the last week. Pay, this year division for the NFC North. Hey, man, what you thinking about this game and the results of it, Pay?
Yeah, this was another one of those good games. It was back and forth for most, 80% of it before Detroit finally pulled away in the fourth quarter with that long touchdown run from Jahmyr Gibbs. What's my man, the safety, Kyrie Joseph?
Kirby.
6 tackles. Kirby. 6 tackles, 2 interceptions. He's the one that really turned the game around. He caught Brock Purdy with a couple of one overthrow and one just bad throw. Caught him napping and put the Lions in great field position. They scored each time. Detroit is primed for a showdown week 18 with the Vikings.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I expect it to be a game. It's gonna be the only good game next week. So
no, the Bengals and Steelers gonna be a good game. They got quiet.
When do the Broncos play? Well, yeah, the Bengals trying to win, the Steelers trying to win too. So, this should be a good Saturday night game. But yeah, that game is Sunday night, the one Pay talking about, the Vikings and there's never been 2 teams meet with as many wins as these teams have. Never. So we're going in with 28 wins and 4 losses between the 2 teams.
It's never been done. Never been done.
Yeah, and if you said that's going to happen, I'd say, oh, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady play. No, it's Jared Goff and Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening? This is the ultimate universe.
Yeah. And I'm going to say, I got to say this about the Detroit Lions. Shout out to Coach Campbell and him turning that culture around. They showed a video when they started out 1-5 in 2022 and how the ownership and the rest of the organization leadership was like, listen, we got all the right pieces. We just got to make the moves that we make. Couple of outstanding drafts, couple of free agents later, and here the Detroit Lions are knocking on the door for NFL history, one of the best regular season teams ever.
And you remember when a couple of years ago they was questioning the Detroit's draft?
Yeah.
They drafts has hit the past couple of years, period. Yeah, you get Gibbs, Laporta, Campbell, all in the same freaking draft. Them was Pro Bowlers. So yeah, Detroit, man, shout out to them. I love the culture in Detroit. I think they're the real deal, man. All right, fellas, we done came to the end of the show. Any final thoughts before we get out of here? Pay, I'm going to start with you, man. Any final thoughts before we close out the No Cap Recap?
I'm glad the season is finally over.
Yeah, big facts. Tate Boy Fresh, man, as we close down, final thoughts, man, concerning the podcast.
Interested in seeing week 18. I mean, we going to reconvene and do the No Cap playoff recap. Review the playoff games for the weekend. It'd obviously be a lot less games, but there's still playoff games every week. So we can decide if we want to do that and let the listeners know. But yeah, man, I'm right now. I'm gonna change the topic just a little bit, just to get this in. Cleveland Cavaliers about to win their 7th straight game, and check out the Central Showdown. We did that podcast earlier today. NBA Central Division. Cavs are up 96-75, and Golden State about to win their 7th in a row and go to 28-4. So shout out to our team, the Cavs, Big G.
Mm-hmm. All right, fellas. Thanks again for watching another No Cap Recap, listening to another No Cap Recap. We will definitely check you guys next week on the No Cap Recap as we work through week 18, and then we move to Black Monday where all the coaches will be fired. Happy New Year to everybody that's listening to us. Happy New Year to my co-hosts. We will see you guys in 2025 for the No Cap Recap. Pay, get us out of here, bro, as we always do, man.
Arrest Brett Favre.